All right, Boomer Live, episode 65. It is September 30th. We are 2 days away from fight night. Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker, 5 days removed from UFC 266, which was a banger of pay-per-view. Before we get into that, go check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. Go follow us on Twitter at complete_MMA. Is this Mark? Hey, good fucking timing, buddy.
Damn, started early.
We literally just started. Literally just
started.
And he brings back.
You're gonna start at
Modelo's.
20 minutes early.
Are you gonna leave one of those in the fridge for another 2 months?
Yeah.
I'm down. I think there might still be one in there. I'm not even lying to you.
It probably is.
I feel like there is.
Damn, that's a fucking shirt.
You got in here just in time for Dylan to be blowing up the chat. Jesus Christ.
Dylan's in the chat.
Dylan's
in the chat.
Dylan just said his whole thing on Jan Sandhagen. So
Was
when
it
we
Jan
get to that-
Sandhagen or was it Jan Glover?
he said
I thought
he
he said Jan Glover.
I thought he said
He did both.
Sandhagen.
He did both.
Oh, yeah.
There's kinda two
get to,
Jans spelled
we'll
different.
talk about it when we get to it, but that's-
Dylan just asked me if we're going live.
yeah, we're live. He should come on. He should email him the link.
Ooh, I could.
Dylan, forget class, bro. It's not important. Trust
I
me.
think he has class. I think it's done.
The candle smell. It's nice. We've upgraded with a candle smell.
Yeah.
All right, so
Slide
So-
in there, Zach.
you want to push over a little bit?
Am I in it? Yeah.
All right, so I just have written down everything I want to talk about. I don't need to talk about them in that order. What do you guys want to talk about first? We had
Let's
an
do a
interesting-
recap of this weekend.
Yeah. What the fuck? Let's start off with it. We'll go by the order. UFC 266.
UFC 266 was this weekend.
Oh,
All right,
hey,
so
hey.
Congrats, boys.
little pat on the back.
Congrats.
So as you can see on the pod bet,
Kinda.
we did hit the mark pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
We had a great night. If you watch the podcast, which you can go check out on MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube, we were 9 for 9 on our fight picks last week. We were fucking 9 for 9. Also, 9 favorites, so that helped.
Yeah.
But
it's just one of those things. Like when you know, like,
Mhm.
and it's a little luck.
so let's talk about that because let's talk about that first. For our fight picks, we had Volkanovski, Shevchenko, Diaz, Blades, Andrade, Wallace Willie, Dan Hooker.
We had
Talius.
Lawler. We didn't have Diaz.
We had Lawler.
We did have Lawler. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
That's the only name I remember because of how much fucking hype that they gave that guy. We'll get to Nick Diaz in a minute. But Wallace Willie, Dan Hooker, Chris Dawkins, and Talia Santos. We were 9 for 9. Well, I say we. You might have been closer to 9 for 9 because I didn't want to touch Chris Dawkins. I thought Shamil Abdurakhimov was pretty good. There was another fight.
Hey, I'm just
Or no, I
saying
think the rest of the fights.
a couple of those fights, the fighters like Dawkins and the Wallace Willie,
Mhm.
him.
Yeah.
They both almost got knocked out in the first round. So.
Yeah, that was a close
I mean,
fight.
and
That-
they came back and won.
So
Especially Wallace Willie. He came back
So
and
let's-
battled back.
let's talk about this because I want to get into that next. What I want to get into next is the fight of the night.
Yeah.
We were 9 for 9. We also had like 3 overs hit that we picked.
Yeah.
So
And
the pod bet, it came back strong in a very big way.
I had Shevchenko by TKO.
I
Blades
had
by decision.
Volkanovski by decision. I think we might have both had him.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of methods.
I mean,
we made a shit ton of picks,
I had
to be fair.
Diaz by knockout, but that was just because of the number.
Mhm.
I had Volkanovski by decision.
I did too.
I
I had Shevchenko by decision.
yeah.
I had Shevchenko
Nuh-uh.
by TKO
Shevchenko.
and decision.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I had yeah.
And then I had a couple parlays. But like, listen,
And the ones
if
that I
we
wish
had we-
ones that I wish I did was Santos by decision that you did.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I didn't do that. And we also
And
had
Dan
the over
Hooker.
in that.
And Dan Hooker wasn't on.
And
the
Dan
sportsbook
Hooker, and we
when
couldn't
were
bet
there.
on him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
So we would have had Dan Hooker on the pod bet.
Yeah, that's
What?
a shame.
You know.
Oh, a little cross promotion before I forget. We are in works of a partnership on Twitter promotion with MMA Betting Advisors. Go check them out. They're shouting us out on Twitter. So that's MMA Betting Advisors. I think it's. Let me find the actual ad. I totally forgot to mention this to you, but DM'd them, and they want to start doing promotion. That's at MMA Betting Advisors. They've been shouting us out on Twitter, so I figured I'd give them a shout out.
Thanks, boys.
All right, so fight of the night, and I'm glad that you mentioned Walsh, Willie, and Moraes, because in my eyes, it's the two different aspects of how you can get fight of the night, right? That 50 grand bonus, which Volkanovski Ortega did get. Volkanovski Ortega was the fight of the night for the UFC.
That's crazy.
It was an amazing fight.
fight.
But Moraes, Walsh, Willie had the craziest round of the night.
Yeah.
That first round was bananas.
Yeah, it was wild.
Dude, Walsh Willie almost got knocked out. He got dropped. Marlon Moraes put him in a submission, and then Walsh Willie got up and dominated him to the point where the next round he had, 130 strikes unanswered?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like we saw, it was
unanswered
103,
strikes.
It
and
was
then
all
he just
ground
kept
and
beating.
pound.
Isn't the
all
most
ground and pound.
most
Yeah, most
strikes
unanswered by far.
in
It was
UFC
like
history?
78 was the last one.
Like even Max
Nice.
Holloway, like he had a lot of.
And today,
a lot
Mirab
of
Walsh
fights.
Willie moves up to 6 in the bantamweight rankings. Marlon Moraes goes down to 10. So that's a huge jump from 11 to 6 for Walsh Willie.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And
We had him on our rankings
we had
as
him
10.
10.
Now, obviously, in our rankings, which you can check out MMA Complete Podcast episode 64.
He was also an unranked guy. He was not I wouldn't say maybe.
Would you
not
put him above
unproven,
Cody
but
Garbrandt? Would you put him above Cody Garbrandt?
I put him above Rob Font.
No, for sure. But would you put him above Cody Garbrandt?
Yeah.
You put him above Rob Font?
I wouldn't put him above Rob Font.
I don't know about
I don't like
Cody
Rob
Garbrandt.
Font. I don't like Rob Font. I
It's
think
only because he beat
Do you know-
Cody Garbrandt.
Right. He absolutely
Yeah.
destroyed Cody Garbrandt. And he killed Marlon Moraes, too.
Yeah.
Walsh Willie just did.
Yeah, so they need to fight.
That'd be a
I
good
think
fight.
Font Walsh Willie is a good one, but I want to see... Listen.
Walsh really
I
take
get-
Rob Font to the ground.
I get that
I believe
TJ
so.
Dillashaw is like the number 1 ranked, or the number 2 ranked contender right now,
Sus.
but he needs another fight before he's in the title picture. Because now, and we're going to get to that soon, see, we're going all over the place, but Corey Sandhagen is now going to fight Piotr Jan for the interim bantamweight title at 267. And so the winner of that's going to be fighting Aljamain Sterling. So the title picture's locked up for almost a year.
They're not going to be fighting Aljo.
No, I think-
Aljo's
You
early
think,
retirement is coming.
Aljo's going to...
Dude, he's trying to
Dude,
play.
Dude, I
He
called
messed
that
up.
months
Yeah.
ago.
Dude,
you
he-
I
did.
called it months ago. So, I think TJ Dillashaw, Mirab Walsh Willie is a fantastic fucking fight.
Oh, yeah, especially since
That's the
wrestling
2 best
prowess.
wrestlers in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say Piotr Jan, you could say Aljamain Sterling too. Aljamain Sterling is an amazing wrestler. But like Corey Sandhagen, no. Jose Aldo is great jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, but he does.
but
doesn't
he's
really
stand-up
wrestle.
fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't wrestle.
Walsh Willie, TJ Dillashaw would be fantastic. But that's a pretty big jump to make. I think it'd be a fight that sells, and either winner is going to be right in that title picture. So I think it helps either guy.
I think
Yeah.
that Dillashaw totally has the edge, though, just because of the
I do
stand-up
too. I absolutely
prowess
do
as
too.
well.
We saw with Marlon Moraes. He obviously had the stand-up advantage. He almost put away Walsh Willie.
Yeah.
But then again,
Walsh really can take a hit.
Walsh
That's
Willie's
proven.
Yeah,
tough,
he-
man.
he's
It's
fucking
proven that he
tough.
can take a hit and come back and still fight.
All right. So going on to Volkanovski Ortega.
But can Rob Can Rob Font knock him out though?
Probably.
Does Rob Font have
Yes.
more power than Marlon Moraes? I think so.
No, I don't think he has
I think
more
so.
power. Rob Font beat
He is-
Marlon Moraes by rear naked choke. I think it was the same exact thing. Moraes
didn't
was
KO?
winning.
I gotta check
It
that.
might have been a ground and pound TO. It was on the ground for sure. I remember
Yeah.
him getting up celebrating. I think Rob Font is severely underrated because of his loss to Sandhagen. I think that Font is a motherfucker.
Okay.
But he's one of these small guys.
It was actually by decision, which is strange. I don't remember it that way either.
Font Moraes?
No, Font versus Garbrandt.
Oh, yeah, it was decision. Rob Font fucked him up for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
No, Font versus Moraes, I'm pretty sure, was the one that was finished on the ground. Submission. I thought it was rear naked, but it could have been TKO.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Volkanovski Ortega. First of all,
Yeah, that shit.
that was an amazing fight.
Nuts.
Amazing
And
fight.
it seemed like, and we were so fucking done.
I
with
was
the
so-
pay-per-view.
I was-
we were
I
so
was
tired. We were like,
yelling.
did this fight fucking happen?
Yeah.
I was yelling for Herb Dean not to stop it. because
Ryan
you
and-
can't do that.
Ryan and Shell were literally going to stay for the main event, and I was like, nah, this is probably going to go 5 rounds. They're like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
Like, that's about summed up our entire
Yeah.
live stream of 267, which you
Yeah.
can check out on our YouTube page. It was a good night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But so Volkanovski's a fucking warrior for surviving that guillotine. And
I have
then
no idea how he did.
What was the second? Was it a
There
triangle?
was a guillotine, there was a triangle, and then there was a darce.
Yeah. And he didn't give a fuck, dude. He stayed in it. And then Ortega got the shit beat out of him in the last of the third round. So did you see the actual video recording?
In the 5th round, though, Ortega still had strong.
Ortega started off winning the round.
He couldn't talk,
Right.
but he was capable of fighting still. It was
Dude,
crazy.
Say, can you see? I think so.
I think so. How many fingers am I holding up?
One.
All right, he's good. 2. That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
You went 2.
And Herb just kind of went, I'm going to forget that happened. I don't want Dana to fuck
Dude,
me
I
up.
mean, props to Herb Dean because that fight, in hindsight's 2020, that fight should have kept
Gotta
going.
Gotta win
But
fight.
if he would have stopped it, I would have been like, I totally see that. Because
And
he was fucked.
I think Herb was reffing the Wallace-Willie fight, and he let that go. Whoever
Was he
was
the one?
reffing that fight, but I believe it was Herb. He
Mhm.
let that go, and that gave Wallace-Willie a chance to recover and win.
Right.
And I saw somebody tweet, it actually popped up during the fight, and he's like, this is why you let Warriors fight.
Right.
Yeah, and Herb Dean's been catching some slack for doing that. Props to him for changing.
Yeah, you have to let these guys
He's
go.
been fucking up this past 6 months a little bit.
Yeah, but it's
It's such a hard sport to judge. But like when you fuck
and he's the most, and right now he's
Like,
the
you're
most famous referee.
Yeah.
He's the one in the highlight. He's the one that usually gets the main events.
Mhm.
And it's so easy to critique him, and we obviously know that is such a hard fucking
Yeah.
job. You have to be decisive like that, and you got to
Yeah.
be on the money, or you're gonna
Yeah.
get shit from everybody.
The only one I'm ever mad about him doing was the one where he literally fell into the 2 female fighters.
Yeah, that was bad. No, the one with Ankalaev and Kutalaba, the first one, that was bad.
Oh, because it was
That
a
was
fake.
shit.
It was a fake wobble, and he was like,
Right, that was
Yeah.
shit.
"Oh no!"
But he's had a couple questionable,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I agree with you that he did damn near a perfect job last weekend. So props to Herb Dean.
It's
That's only one of the.
It's one of those things like your fuck ups stand out way more than when you don't fuck up. you
That's
know?
true.
Yeah, absolutely. You can. It's like an offensive lineman in football. You can
Yeah.
play great for 65 plays, but when you fuck up that one time, that's what everybody remembers.
Yeah, look at that one dude who just let him slip right through. Fucking toast.
And that's only like I thought that really all the fights were great. In
Yeah.
266.
Those were
Blades
good
Rosenstrike wasn't a purely great fight. It was awesome for us because we were sweating it so much
Yeah.
and it paid off. But it wasn't a spectacular fight.
Getting to that over was like the most nerve-wracking part of
Yes,
the night.
it
Like
so
the last
was.
minute, like
It so was. I literally didn't talk for the second round. I was like, all right, there's the over. Okay, so here's the fight. Here's what's going on.
The over, yeah, that was probably the sweat.
That was absolutely the sweat of the night. 100%.
oh yeah.
And then we had, I just mentioned all the fights and I can't remember. Jessica Andrade was the first fight of the main card. She beat Cynthia Calvillo, first round TKO. And that was like, Andrade is like fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, she's knocking people out.
And what's crazy is Shevchenko beat her in 2 rounds last
Yeah,
time. Like, it wasn't even close.
Andrade just leads above, and Valentina is leads above, like you said. I
Right,
think on
it's such a
Saturday night.
separation. We had Blades beat Rosenstrike by decision, although props to Rosenstrike, who landed a vicious flying knee. That was a
Yeah,
really
it
good
did,
flying
dude.
knee.
We thought it was over right there. We heard that thing hit.
Where is
Like,
Rosenstrike
oh my
in the heavyweight rankings? Rosenstrike should be down.
Rose-
Rosenstrike didn't move. He stayed at 6.
Closed his
Oh,
eye.
because Curtis Blades was already ahead of him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Rosenstrike's last 4 fights, they're good losses, right? He's lost to Cyril Gane, Francis Ngannou,
Yeah.
and Curtis Blades, and he's beaten Junior Dos Santos. Those are good losses.
Yeah, those are.
But at some point, when you lose 3 out of 4,
when
like,
you lose your
how are you
ranking,
still top 6?
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson is top 6, but he was never.
They just don't got enough big aims.
The
Like,
rankings are just Dana White's opinion.
out of all of those guys, I only know Walt Harris, and the only guy I think is a prospect that I know for sure, Tom Aspinall. I really think that guy's got a lot of promise.
Yeah,
Are you talking about
he
Yeah.
does.
all the way 7 to 10? Chris Dawkins just won.
Yeah, Chris Dawkins just
Marcin
won,
Tibura's
but
all right, but he's been on a skid. He's been like win
Yeah.
one, lose one. And Augusto Sakai's the kickboxer that got fucked up by Overeem.
I don't see any of those guys really as future champs, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I
no,
see
I
one
agree
guy
with you.
out of there.
Well, the heavyweight division is so top heavy, no pun intended. Like the top 4 of the heavyweight division are ridiculous,
Mhm.
and we're gonna mention one of those names in a few. We gotta process a couple other things before we get to that guy. But yeah, overall, man, 266 was a really good card. It had, and we knew it was going to be a great card because the prelims were stacked.
Yeah.
When you got Dan Hooker 7 fights from the main event, you're stacked. Birch, absolutely stacked.
True. That is
And
so
speaking
true.
of that, Dan Hooker is now going to step in for Rafael Dos Anjos to fight Islam Makhachev at UFC 267.
I'm looking forward to that, man. That is Islam Makhachev's like most truest test yet, and it'll be great.
It is. It is his most truest test.
And it's a good guy for him to fight because Dan Hooker has good offensive wrestling. I'd say his defensive wrestling also looks good. I was watching some
It's
videos,
good,
but Islam Makhachev has him outclassed grappling hands down.
Here's the thing I looked up earlier.
I like Islam Makhachev, and I'm going to hammer his number.
Dan Hooker's
Yeah, it might be a
also
good idea.
the tallest and longest fighter Islam Makhachev's going to fight.
Yeah, they're the same height, right?
Dan Hooker,
5'11",
I believe, is
I
the
think.
same height, but I think he has a 3-inch reach advantage on him.
I believe that he's got those arms.
Right. And Islam Makhachev's best fighter he's fought is Thiago Moises,
Yeah,
who's not in the top 15 anymore. He fought Drew Dober, who's not in the top 15 either. So you can call that like one of those guys is his top fight. And Dan Hooker is miles above both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan Hooker's not a wrestler. He's good at wrestling, but he's not a wrestler.
here's
the thing that we need to watch out for. Is this a 3 or a 5 round fight? That is what's going to really.
I can only imagine to be a 3-round.
Khabib's also undefeated as a coach. It's not nothing to do with the
Hype
fighter.
train.
Not hype train, not at all.
Hype train. Khabib's a hype train, bro. He never
Islam
won a fight.
Makhachev is a hype train.
He is as of right now. Yeah.
Like
Like
he's a good hype train.
a lot of the things we notice though, like we see these really skilled guys at the lower level, minus 15 level, and then they move up and they face a guy in the top 15, and it's like that equalizes the skill levels, and you see you see the holes in their game a lot easier than you do at the earlier fights in their career.
So this is going to be a 3 round fight
That makes sense.
because it's not even the 3rd fight from the top; it's the 4th fight.
Ooh, Magomed Ankalaev's fighting on that card, huh?
You have Ankalaev versus Volkan Ozdemir. You got Makhachev versus Hooker, Tabura versus Volkov, and Kamaev versus Jingliang, and 2 title fights. So 267 is very top heavy. We talked about this a little earlier because there's not a lot of big fights on the
We have a pod bet coming.
Yeah. We probably should hammer Ankalaev, Makhachev,
You want to
Khamzat.
You want to bet on Ankalaev?
Yep.
I really think so.
Yep.
He's
Depends
looking
what the
good.
number is. If it's worth it. Islam Makhachev, I think his number
I think
and Dan Hooker's.
Ozdemir beats him.
Grappling wise.
I think Ozdemir beats him. Ankalaev is a good grappler, but he doesn't go for the takedown. Like he beat Ion Cutelaba both times standing.
Yeah, I get what you're
Volkan
saying.
Ozdemir is a savage standing. I get that his only losses are like to Thiago Santos
He can take him to the ground.
and Daniel Cormier.
He can take him to the ground. Ankalaev could take him to
That's
the
a
ground.
tough
We're gonna
fight.
have to- we're gonna have to study
that might be a fight to avoid.
I think you're right.
That might be.
Piotr Jan versus Sandhagen, I'm hammering Jan.
Yeah, I believe so.
Jan.
Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira.
Not touching.
Glover. I'm gonna
wanna
cheer on
touch it.
Glover.
I want to touch it because
Ain't
Glover
touching.
Teixeira is so going to be the underdog, and I really think Glover's going to win.
He's got
But
like the heart
that
of
is
gold,
definitely
man.
not one for the pod bet.
Yeah, that's a
Definitely.
personal.
It's
That's
like
a
an
personal bet.
individual.
Absolutely.
Straight bet.
Jan
Jan Makhachev,
Makhachev.
probably Alexander Volkov. Alexander Volkov. No.
Probably Kamaev.
He's
Versus
fighting
Marcin Tybura.
Kamaev.
He's got to come up with a win, man.
Kamaev. I don't give a fuck. I've learned my lesson. He
Kamaev's-
needs to pay
That's
me
a
back.
personal.
Well,
That's a
no, that's not a
personal.
personal. No, it's not
Kamaev
a
is-
personal.
His number's probably going to be trash because he's a hype train.
Oh, dude,
No,
he's
he's not a
going
hype
to be
train.
-3 units.
It's going to be
ridiculous.
minus a
Sportsbook
lot.
doesn't have it yet.
Alexander Hernandez is fighting this weekend, and it looks like he's taking some fodder.
Who's
Minus
Alexander
550.
Oh, this is October
Oh,
30th.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's talk before we get too crazy into UFC 267, which we will be live streaming as we do for every pay-per-view, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. on October 30th. Let's talk about the fight night that's coming up. We talked about UFC 266 already. If you want to know more about it, you can go check out our podcast we did last week on MMA Complete Podcast YouTube channel. But this weekend's fight night started off as like, and then there's actually like a really good main card. We got the main event, Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Thiago Santos is the favorite.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
don't know how I feel about that, but
It's
let's
a
keep
slight
going.
favorite.
Let's keep going. It's kind of getting bigger though.
It is. It's increasing.
Kevin Holland versus Kyle Dawkins. That's going to be a fun fight. Kevin Holland returns after his 2-fight losing streak, both on short notice, so he actually gets a full training camp to fight Kyle Dawkins, who I believe is not ranked. Kevin Holland is 14. Kyle Dawkins is not ranked. Nico Price versus Alex Oliveira is a good way for Nico Price to get back into the welterweight top
like
15.
Nico Price.
I do too, and Alex Oliveira's getting old. That's the thing.
33. He's only 33.
Well, yeah, I guess he's only 33, but he has a lot of ring time in him.
Yeah, he does.
So that's the only thing. Misha Serkinov versus Krzysztof Jotko is a really fun middleweight fight that I think will.
I like Krzysztof
That's a clash of
Jotko.
styles. Krzysztof Jotko's. I can't remember if he's necessarily a kickboxer. I know he's a boxer, but Misha Serkinov's really good grappling. So that's a good clash of styles. And then Aspen Ladd, Macy Chasen. Bantamweight come-ups. 9-1 for Ladd, 8-1 for Chasen.
This is sketchy. This is a sketchy one that I was looking for betting on earlier, and I think I might avoid it.
I kind of like Aspen Ladd.
Aspen Ladd's a heavy favorite.
Chasen has a 4-inch reach advantage. Chasen is way bigger, that's for sure. Aspen Ladd is the higher-ranked woman. What is this, bantamweight? Yeah, Aspen Ladd is 3.
Really?
Macy Chasen is 11.
Wow, what a jump, dude.
Right. But Aspen Ladd doesn't have a crazy amount of names on her list. She kind of just, because I think she's 9-1, but I think she's on like an 8-fight win streak.
Yeah.
She's kind of just shot up to the top. They're always trying to find new competitors for Amanda Nunes, I guess.
Yeah, new food for the cannon.
She's minus 2.8 units.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was looking at parlays for this night.
And then I thought there was
not
one
too many
more.
good options.
Alexander Hernandez versus Mike Breeden.
Yeah, I got Hernandez all the way in that.
Also,
Antonia Shevchenko's fighting.
yeah, I was
Jamie
just gonna
Malarkey's fighting. Jared Gordon's fighting. There's a bunch of good names. This is just a fight night.
I like the woman that is. I like Casey O'Neill. She's fighting Shevchenko just because
Casey
vast
O'Neill is
age
7-0,
difference.
and she's also the heavy favorite.
And she's much younger.
23 years old for Casey O'Neill. All right. That's got me interested now. We could see if she's going to become the next big thing. Flyweight division, so she's in Shevchenko's division. That could be interesting.
Ooh.
She beats Antonia, calls out Valentina.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see. So that's going to be a good fight night. I personally, I think that Johnny Walker's going to win.
I think so too.
I think Kevin Holland's going to win. I think Nico Price is going to win. I think Misha Serkinov's going to win. And I think Aspen Ladd's going to win.
Okay.
Walker, Holland,
Okay.
Price, Serkinov, Ladd.
because I kind of like Johnny Walker too. I just wasn't sure how you guys are feeling.
So
But now that you guys are
that
saying
one,
that,
I'm not touching that. I just think Johnny Walker will be able to knock out Santos.
I think it's flexibility and athleticism.
The over-under is
the
1.5.
factor.
Over-under is 1.5. I'm going over. I'm definitely taking the over of that.
Yeah, who knows if they go out slow?
Right.
We might be in for a bore fest.
And Thiago Santos probably will be hesitant because in his last 3 fights, he tore his ACL, got knocked out, and got submitted.
Yeah, he did. Rear naked choke by Glover.
So
right?
he's probably not going to go out there in any kind of fucking hurry, especially against a guy who's 6'4" and can cartwheel kick your head off.
Yeah, he knocked the dude out with a close elbow.
Yeah, I like Johnny Walker's number.
All right. So that's fight night coming up soon. We talked about 266. We've talked a little bit about 267. We will broach that topic at the end. But now we got to talk about this fucking guy.
Who?
We got to talk about this fucking guy. And before we talk about this fucking guy, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Make sure you go check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. Go follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA. We've been gaining a lot of followers, especially over UFC 266. Put out polls. Talk to you guys. Let us know about your bets. It's a lot of fun. So go check us out at @complete_MMA. We will be right back to talk about fucking John Jones. Here's that. All right,
Boomer
Boomer Live. Fucking John Jones. All
This
right,
fucking guy.
so for anybody who hasn't
This guy
heard
man.
the story, the official police report did get released, and a bunch of pages picked it up and talked about what was on it. The report I read was by MMA Junkie, who is one of my most reliable sources on Twitter.
Yeah. MMA Junkie's the shit.
I don't even want to talk about this from a couple perspectives. One, I think it's been established that I'm one of, if not the biggest, John Jones fucking fanboy that at least in this crew. I know he's obviously the GOAT, but I fucking love John Jones. I've defended him to death. And goddamn if I don't want to anymore. But this guy,
Yeah.
So
It's pretty hard.
we
to.
all know John Jones has a history, a background,
Hey, can you put a check?
felonies,
Where
and fucking his life up and doing stupid shit.
What we've talked about?
Nah, we're good. This is all we have to talk about. We're gonna finish up at 267.
No, a check. Like we did it. We did it.
Nah, it's all good.
You
So
Mental.
John Jones.
don't know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get your drift.
John Jones was in
Mental.
Las Vegas for two reasons, I'm supposing. The two reasons being his fight versus Gustafson. The first one was inducted into the Hall of Fame,
Mhm.
which I believe there's only been like 7 fights inducted into the Hall of Fame. So that is a very prestigious honor. 2, the UFC 266 was in Las Vegas. And like George St. Pierre was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and we saw him at the pay-per-view. So I assume that he was there for the pay-per-view event itself.
Zach, there is a third reason that you're missing.
Yeah,
He was in Las Vegas to also get arrested. It's pretty routine at this point.
right, exactly.
That's number 7.
So last week we talked about this because he did get arrested, I think right after our podcast. So we talked about it a little bit on the pay-per-view live stream, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast.
It was the same night.
It was
hours.
So initially the first thing we heard was that John Jones was arrested on misdemeanor domestic assault charges, and felony tampering with a vehicle charges.
Headbutted a police car.
He headbutted a police car, and it hasn't been proven, and his wife is denying it, but there were strong allegations and strong suspicion to believe that John Jones was abusing his wife, fiance. He was also present in the Las Vegas hotel with his 3 kids, the youngest being a 3-year-old who was, in the report I read, the first person to ask the hotel security guard, who was originally the one that took John Jones' fiance off the premises. The 3-year-old was the first one to ask the security guard to call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the report that I read.
That's his youngest?
It's his youngest kid. So John Jones went to the Hall of Fame ceremony. He then came back to the hotel, and the police report states that he was in his room, and then he left the hotel. And then in between him, his fiance going to the front desk and the staff of the hotel, and fucking God bless that staff that helped out that woman, got her off. He then went back to the hotel to pick up, and I swear to God, I'm not fucking bullshitting you. He went to the hotel to pick up $10,000 so that him and his buddies could enjoy a night out at Las Vegas strip clubs. That was in the report that I read.
As he does it.
When he walked out of the hotel and on his way out to the Las Vegas Strip, I assume, police identified him, arrested him, and in the report I read, said that John Jones became belligerently upset, and while he was being arrested, headbutted a cop car. Now, I don't want to confuse this at all because this is kind of a legality issue that I'm doing on this podcast right now, but this is not part of the report. This is something I am completely speculating about. But when you say that a guy headbutted a cop car, we also know that John Jones is a very large, threatening African American male, and I don't want to make assumptions off that, but it is a possibility that this guy got arrested. They threw him against the car, and he just fucking smacked his head off.
Well, I got some input.
I'm just saying that's
From a
a
report-
possibility.
From a report that I heard, he was actually joking with the police. Half joking.
Mhm.
What if I fought all you guys right now? How do you think that would go?
And I don't think that. But anyway, that is totally something assumed by me, by us, and not by me. And so that is beside the point, though, because he was indicted with felony tampering with a vehicle charges. So it seems very unlikely that any foolish business happened with Las Vegas finest. But I just want to throw that out there as a journalist that reading a report. That's what I initially
just makes
thought
the pot
about.
up a little bit.
And so while he was in the cop car, John Jones is obviously recorded being in the cop car, but he went from violently threatening police officers with lawsuits to crying to being completely calm
He is a
in
psycho.
the 20-minute ride to the police station.
He is a psychopath.
That is the report that I read in its full details that I'm describing.
I got a thing. John Jones is bipolar.
Do you think so?
I think just a little bit.
So you think John Jones is bipolar?
Oh, I think I know.
You think you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
That motherfucker is off his shit, bro. The guy is like going, he's like calm, smashing his head in, in not quotes, but, you know, allegedly hit his fiance or girlfriend or whatever, but she has dry lips. That's what she said, that she had dry. She's trying to cover for him. It does not look good. It does not look good.
Bad.
It comes to what you're persecutable for, which is proven.
And then here's the thing that makes it even worse.
Here's the cherry.
The next day, John Jones was quoted saying that I think he might have tweeted it, giving up drinking and that he's done drinking and that'll fix all his problems.
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, buddy, you've said that before. And not only have you said that before, but if you think that quitting drinking is going to be that's what's going to fix your problems, you need help.
It probably would help a lot.
Needs help.
It would help him from exploding like that.
He needs help.
Right.
But you should probably see a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he needs to figure some shit out, buddy.
man.
I wish him all the best, dude, because it's not. It's a mental illness. It really is. Like I wish him a recovery.
And then we saw Dana White blasting him as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he got arrested, Dana White was interviewed saying that he's done with John Jones.
And Vegas is not good for John Jones.
Right. He didn't want to bring him out to the Hall of Fame because he knew that he was bringing him to Vegas. It's not good.
They should ban the man from the state.
It's
city, whatever.
It's so tough to say that it's one of the biggest what ifs in sports. But
yeah, maybe.
All right, so what's the biggest what if in sport? For me, it's very clear.
What if the Red Sox? What if the Red Sox never traded Babe Ruth?
Oh, that's a big what if.
That's a fucking huge what if. I was going more recent, but yeah, that's absolutely a big what if.
That is my what if. That is my biggest what if of my life. What if they never traded Babe Ruth?
I was going to say the biggest what if in my life is what if Derrick Rose never got hurt. That's the biggest what if for me.
Yeah.
But John Jones, what if John Jones had never been arrested? What if John Jones never had battles with the law?
Oh, man.
Would he be 35-1?
Who knows, man? Because if he never got busted for that, he never would have probably been tested positive for doing blow. I think the cop was it on the police report he got that found in his
what
blood?
Just recently?
No, way back in the day, like around hitting pregnant woman time.
So he was bopped for steroids one time. He was bopped for steroids one time, coke one time, and he was arrested for the hit and run.
Yeah.
And then he was also arrested for something else that I guess didn't pertain to the UFC, so they tried not to make a big deal of it. And then this most recent arrest.
Want to know what I think? I think Dana White came out and he said all that for the press. I think he brushes this under the rug in the next few months. Oh, we're just going to bring John Jones back.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
For Dana, it's all about money.
And is that, to be honest, if I'm Dana White.
No, that's what he's paid to do.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely
I mean, Mike
is.
Tyson came back.
Yeah, he did. But proven innocent, right?
After.
And I mean,
years and years
I don't want to say that this, for fight fans that want to see John Jones, I don't want to say this could be a blessing in disguise. Because, and this is a huge what if, and I'm going to sound like an asshole, but if he gets away with all this, if he doesn't go to jail, and the UFC wants to partner with him, which I don't think they should, and I don't think they will.
I
But
think they will.
say they do, and now he's only like, I only want $2 million, and Dan was like, all right, we can do that.
Yeah, he might lower his
It
number.
can fucking happen. He's certainly not going to stay with the same number because Dana White's going to be like, no.
Dude,
You're a fuck
Ngannou makes
outta
more
here.
than
Piece
John
of shit.
Jones.
Yeah. And they're still going to sell John Jones way more than they'd sell Ngannou because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, obviously. Especially after what just happened.
Here's
They
the
show him. They show the cops video. Bad boys, what you
Yeah.
don't do. Here's
Here's-
driving off with Jones.
the biggest loser in this John Jones debacle, I think.
This is John Jones.
No, his fiance, of course.
Yeah.
I meant
Kids?
more towards pertaining to the UFC side
Oh, okay.
of the business,
Okay.
not like the
Oh,
right.
what
That
the-
family suffering behind
Yeah.
them.
Right, of course. No, the family's always the first victims. No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I'm just
But-
doing what you say.
The biggest in the UFC, like Stipe. Like, what the fuck's Stipe gonna do? Like, yeah, I get that John Jones never wanted to fight him, but that was his biggest logical fight. And
Yeah,
now
he
that
did
we
wanna
know
fight
that Gon is fighting Ngannou in what UFC is targeting for March, what does Stipe do?
Makes a comeback anyways. He fights the winner, right?
He ain't getting paid dick. It's not even worth
Stipe should have been the first one to fight Ngannou.
Yeah, he
He
should
should
have got
get
a
a
rubber
rematch.
match.
never got a rematch.
But he wanted to put on weight. That's what he said himself.
That's what he said, but I haven't heard anything about that in
They're
the last
gonna
couple
help,
months.
man.
Yeah, weight will definitely help absorb a punch and be able to throw harder, give him more power for the takedowns. 20 pounds, man, huge.
Dude, and he could do more than that. He weighed in at 235 against Ngannou.
That's too low.
Ngannou.
But that's what he's always fought at.
Ngannou's
That's what he's
gonna
No,
always
go
he
into
fought
that-
at.
he fought DC, I believe, at 250. Or it was
Ngannou's
245.
Ngannou's going
It
into
was
that
definitely
ring
Maybe
high.
245, but that 235 to 245 is where he fights at.
Ngannou's going into that ring
I don't know, man.
285, 280.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ngannou, did he cut weight for his last fight? Because he came in like a pound underweight.
I don't know.
I think it was like 264.
I assume, yeah. I mean, he
versus
must have
Stipe.
cut some weight.
He looked in better shape, too. So he might have
Ngannou's
been
looked in
leaner.
amazing shape since he
Dude.
fucking started.
Since
and
he
he's
came
only
out of the
gotten
womb.
better shape.
He
was walking with
He's
huge
a
lats.
genetic fucking freak.
I don't
He
see
absolutely
anybody
is.
beating him for a little bit. Like seriously, like
Could be
I
Cyril
don't.
Gane. It could
Maybe
be
Cyril
John
Gane.
Jones. It could be Stipe.
See, the
It's
thing is,
insanely-
I don't think you can beat Francis Ngannou if you're trying to look for a decision. If you want to beat Ngannou, you got to submit him or knock him out.
Yeah, I think you definitely could have
Because
stalled
the
him.
longer that fight goes, the longer you got a shot of getting one on the chin, and you're just out.
Yeah, in the later rounds, from what
Yeah.
we've seen, he
So-
still has the power.
So I don't see Cyril Gane finishing Ngannou. I see Cyril Gane maybe trying to, like Cyril Gane would try to point victory Ngannou, take it 5 rounds,
Chop his legs down.
right? And I
If
don't
you
think
chop
that's
his
gonna
legs
fucking happen.
down and he can't get enough power to knock you out,
And Gane
If
is
that guy
weird,
was
man.
chop his legs.
Even if now I get that getting your legs kicked out from under you, it works wonders, and with the calf kick being introduced moreover in the last couple of years, it's even done better. But Ngannou, it doesn't fucking matter what happens to him. Like that guy could have one broken shoulder, he not be able to walk on his right, but he could still throw a right hook that'll knock anybody out on this planet.
We've seen
You
him
know
throw.
what I mean?
We've seen him
No,
throw crappy form arm punches and still get the finish.
Dude, look at the Rosen strike. He was literally going like this.
Yeah.
First punch knocked him out.
Windmilling.
No, I think Cyril Gane will have a great game plan, and I think he'll take round 1 if he doesn't get knocked out. I think that will be a good fight, but Ngannou sooner or later is going to rock your fucking head off. And if
Yeah.
you don't get knocked out, we've seen with Stipe that he will ground and pound you, and he's actually a capable wrestler now.
Oh, that was brutal. That was so rough
Dude,
to watch.
Stipe went for a takedown, and Ngannou stuffed the fuck out of it, and then he sprawled on him and beat the shit out
Dude,
of him.
that
We were
sprawl,
like,
that
"What
sprawl
the
was
fuck?"
just weight.
We're like, dude, this 280-pound boxer is like fucking you up on the ground. What are you gonna do, Stipe? He got knocked out. That's what he did.
More weight.
Yeah, I just don't see anyone beating him. And it's crazy that he's not even the favorite going into this fight. Cyril Gane is.
Really, Cyril
think
Gane's the favorite.
Well, those numbers haven't officially been released. That was what got put out initially, and Cyril Gane had just beaten Derek Lewis decisively. When it gets closer to the fight, I think Ngannou's going to be the favorite.
I think so too.
For sure. It would be crazy if he wasn't, because Vegas would lose so much money because everybody would bet on Ngannou.
Yeah.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to dive more into UFC 267 or if you guys want, we got like half hour. We could do welterweight rankings. It's up to you guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break, talk it over. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast. Go check us out on YouTube and go follow us at Twitter at complete_MMA.
Boom.
All right, UFC 267 is coming up on October 30th. We are only 4.5 weeks away. It would have been great to see Sterling Yan too, but Corey Sandhagen stepping in for the injured Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because now it's just about it isn't complete, but it is one of the shortest bantamweight fighters in the roster versus the biggest
It's
bantamweight.
like 5'10", 5'11", right?
He's like 5'11" versus 5'6".
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's going to be a weird show to watch.
It's also two of the best boxers in the division.
Yeah. Piotr Jan's probably the best boxer in the division.
Now, here's what I want to look up, because Aljamain Sterling is kind of big too, but he's not as big as Corey Sandhagen.
I think Aljo's 5'8".
Yeah, that seems about right to me.
Is it? You just can't beat the master of boxing. Is that what he calls himself?
Master of the sport of boxing.
Oh.
So cool.
All right, so Aljo Sterling's does it not say what his reach is? Aljo Sterling's reach is 71 inches. Corey Sandhagen's reach is 70. So it's actually, I was thinking Jan's preparation, like how would you, if you're going against a guy who has this big a reach, and then now you're fighting this big of a reach, that would probably fuck up your preparation.
Mm-hmm.
But Corey Sandhagen's reach is actually smaller than Aljo's, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Because
so
Sandhagen's like 3 inches taller than Sterling.
Yeah, that is
Sterling
wild.
more of a wrestler, no? I mean, Jan
he's-
proved that
Sterling's
it don't matter.
a great grappler.
He is.
But what Sandhagen's what more? He throws more kicks, right?
He's a kickboxer, yeah.
More
He's a
kicks,
good
more
kickboxer.
knees.
He's got good
really
grappling,
everything.
too.
Good
Yeah.
striking
Like he is
too.
totally a complete MMA fighter.
Yeah.
But,
But he's definitely more equipped to box with Jan, especially with the reach advantage, because
Now, how many title defenses does Jan have?
Jan beat Jose Aldo, and then I think it was first title defense was Aljo.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think Jan had a single title defense. 15-2. Yep, he did not have a single title defense. He was DQ'd,
DQ title.
even though he was getting outstruck by Aljo, which is fucking crazy.
He was
On over 100 more attempts by Aljo. Aljo was 1 for 17 on takedowns.
Yeah, he did a great job of stuffing those.
Oh man, that's so funny. It's funny because Piotr Jan didn't have the rise to the top that everybody would expect. It was kind of under the radar.
Yeah.
He beat Uriah Faber, but that was when Faber was like 38. He beat Jimmy Rivera by decision. That's decent. He beat John Dodson by decision. That's decent. And then he beat Jose Aldo. And Jose Aldo, now we realize that he is a top guy. But at the time, it was like, yeah, Aldo's 37. He's in a new weight class.
Getting old.
Eh. But he's like the number one guy in the bantamweight division. Even though he doesn't have any good wins on his record. I'm sorry. Like Jose Aldo's, it's a good win. It's not anything special.
I judge him based off of just the performances that he had. against fucking Rosales. You know, see a knockout right there. You see
Right.
fucking. You saw what he did
should have
with
fucked up
Aljo.
Sterling.
Yeah, you saw it, but that was towards the end of the fight where he was building up to, you know, all the preparation work, the kicks, the fucking striking that he was landing. And then, you know, DQ round 4? Yeah.
But what I mean is that are we kind of overselling Petr Yan?
You could be. I mean,
Little
he's not Iron Man.
Corey Sandhagen's a motherfucker, man. Here's what's gonna look bad. What if Corey Sandhagen beats Petr Yan?
And then Dillashaw.
And then Dillashaw is like, whoa, so do I get to fight Aljo next because I beat Sandhagen?
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
That'll make a shit show.
That makes sense to me. If Sandhagen wins the interim belt, maybe give Dillashaw the first title shot.
Yeah, I'd give him that. That'd be the rematch that we all want to see, too.
Right. If I'm Dillashaw and Sandhagen wins, I'm saying my next fight is for the title. Like, whatever you guys want to do, if you want to put Sandhagen versus Sterling, you can do that, but my next fight is for the title.
Charizard.
That's interesting. Because Corey Sandhagen's going to have something to prove. And it's not like he performed necessarily bad against Dillashaw.
A lot of people thought he won.
A lot of people thought he won. I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was pressure time that won the fight for Dillashaw.
It was absolutely. Because the clinch work, Sandhagen had no fucking response for.
Yeah, he couldn't respond.
And Dillashaw, I mean, he got hurt in the first round. And yeah, anyway, 267 co-main event is Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen for the interim bantamweight strap.
We're looking forward to that.
Main event is the light heavyweight title between Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira.
We're looking forward to that more.
Jan Blachowicz in his first fight since he fought. Oh, good timing. Everybody's coming in good
Would
timing
that be
today.
Dylan?
That would be Dylan.
Hey.
Penis in my ball.
In Boomer Live.
What's up, guys?
We're literally just about, well, we just finished talking about Corey Sandhagen versus Petr Yan.
All right.
Semi-location.
What's your,
Oh, what is that?
what's your
Wicked
thoughts
Easy.
on that?
Wicked Easy. Sam
Is that
Adams.
Wicked Hazy? Oh, it's Wicked Easy.
Easy. Yeah, no, I think I said in the group chat, I was like, well, I'm a Sandhagen favorite,
Mm-hmm.
Sandman. I really think he's,
How did you get that?
I don't know.
It's mine. Go on.
Yeah.
Uh,
But,
see,
I mean, dude, Petr Yan is not to be messed with. And so that's one of those fights that I would not touch. And
I wouldn't touch it either.
I would not touch it.
No, I'm gonna touch that. I'm gonna touch that for Jan.
Yeah,
Maybe
me too.
Yeah,
touch it.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Don't put it. It's not a pod. It's not one of the pods.
I don't think it is
No.
either. Just because there's
That's
too
Here's
much.
the thing:
touch.
we
That's
have
a
to make
touch.
some
You just-
bets for the pod bet. We have to do something because the other fights
All
are
right, so
close
what did
too.
what did you say about Jan Teixeira?
I got Teixeira, but I wouldn't touch that because Jan's so good.
All right.
I wouldn't touch it either.
I wouldn't touch. I'm not touching. No, nah.
You guys really feel like Jan has it over Sandhagen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got Sandhagen and Blachowicz.
You got one Jan, but not the other.
Damn. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, one Jan.
Wait. Two
one-
Jans on one card? That's a parlay.
See, Jan Blachowicz is the smart money because Jan Blachowicz should win.
Should.
But Glover Teixeira has a great number. He's gonna have a great number, and Jan Blachowicz is good on the ground. We saw it against Adesanya, but Adesanya to Glover Teixeira is checkers to chess when it comes on the ground. I'm sorry, not only from their jiu-jitsu background, but from the weight difference. Glover Teixeira is going to be the same weight as Blachowicz, whereas Blachowicz was 30 pounds heavier than Adesanya.
Yeah, that was a guaranteed fight pretty much for Jan.
Right.
In hindsight.
And so Teixeira, here's the thing. Jan Blachowicz could knock him the fuck out in the first round. Absolutely. But Glover Teixeira has the edge on the ground. Not by much, but enough. And he's had a couple impressive performances lately.
Yeah, offensively, he has a big advantage. I'm not sure how Jan's defensive wrestling is, but because he does have a good wrestling in the wrestling department for light heavyweight.
So Glover Teixeira choked out Thiago Santos, knocked out Anthony Smith, decision beat Krylov, rear naked choke Q Talaba, and choke triangled Carl
What is
Roberson.
that? Give
Holy
me that.
crap, he's got finishes.
What is
Yeah.
that? You only got that because of
That's
Ryan.
the
not
scariest
big.
thing. It's all finishes for
It is.
Glover, pretty
It's
much.
not even
And the
his, it's
only
his neighbors.
things-
You fucking jump at the conclusion, you fucking poon. Jeez,
chill,
Tell me I'm
chill,
wrong.
chill.
though.
You're
Ryan
fucking
and his
wrong.
girlfriend were ripping.
You're
these
fucking
things.
wrong.
Sorry,
Chill,
I'm sorry.
No,
But yeah, they
I'm
do
just
rip
kidding.
them.
Uh,
But they were
his
better
only
flavors than
losses
that.
are Anthony Johnson when he was in
Blue rat.
2016 when he was one of the fucking craziest knockout artists in the company.
Yeah.
Gustafson when he was still on his
Okay.
tear, and
Oh,
Corey
yeah.
Anderson.
Hates
Corey
it.
Anderson's
Hates it.
still a
Loves
beast in Bellator.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are
you
three
mean-
really good losses.
Fucking
He
lost
lost
all
to
my
John
bets
Jones
on
back
that.
in the day. He got
Who-
fucked up
who
by John
hasn't?
Jones. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And he lost to Phil Davis, who's still a motherfucker in Bellator too.
Yeah, it's crazy how Bellator just takes used and abused UFC fighters and just makes them stars.
Makes him good,
Lost
man.
them all.
Um,
No, actually, think
and I mean,
lost them.
Thiago Santos, say what you want about him in his last couple fights, but he is a savage who is similar to Jan Blachowicz in a lot of ways.
Maybe,
He is.
he doesn't have the ground game, I think, that Jan has.
Santos is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yeah, but like the wrestling.
Wrestling, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Jan Blachowicz is a better wrestler.
Have any fights been announced for that card? 267.
Oh, yeah. All of them.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
so we could talk
So
about
I've
the
only,
podcast.
I've only talked about
Blachowicz versus Teixeira, main event.
No one's missing another pod. I can
Sandhagen
guarantee
versus
that.
Jan, co-main event. Just,
It's still
maybe this
listed
one.
as
yes, I
It's
know.
kind of risky.
Start
Yeah, this one is
Um,
risky.
coming in for the injured Rafael Dos
The
Anjos
267.
is Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev.
Oh my god, my boy Hooker is getting a fucking dude. The UFC's peddling him for real.
Dan Hooker's gonna get fucked up.
Dan Hooker's gonna get fucked up by
Okay,
Islam
so-
Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev.
I don't think so.
When did that get announced? Yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
And it's short notice.
How did I
Short
not
notice.
know
And
that?
short
But
notice.
Oh, that's huge. That's
Hooker is already full camped up. Just got off
Right,
the
it's
fight.
not like
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
like he went home. I mean, he might have went home and ate 20 pounds of ice cream, but
Yeah. It's like a week, 2 weeks.
Right. and he still has a month. He has a month until the pay-per-view, so he has a 4-week camp, which
So
is
what's-
not. It is short notice, but it's not crazy short notice at all.
all right. What's the consensus right there?
Makhachev.
Can I hear you?
I'm hoping Hooker. I like the Hangman, but
Dude,
I like the
Hooker,
Hangman.
yeah, but Makhachev, he hasn't done me wrong. And
this is where we find if he's just a hype train
Like,
or he's the real fucking deal.
Right. This is Makhachev's biggest test yet. Also on 267, we have Volkan Ozdemir versus Magomed Ankalaev. That one's all right. It's pretty good.
I don't think we like Ankalaev, right? He's on a 2-fight lose.
No, he's not.
No, I think he's on a 3-fight win streak.
No, I'm thinking Kutalaba.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Kudalab actually won. I think. It was
Yeah, he just beat
last weekend.
Really?
We
Yeah.
also in the same card have Li Jingliang. You know who Li Jingliang is?
Cannon fodder.
Woman?
Middleweight division, number 11 ranked, fighting
No, I don't.
the returning Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay, cool.
Shot Kamayev.
I mean, yeah.
Maiev is going to.
That's
Maiev
cool.
is going
That's
to
a fun
knock
one.
this
That's what we were
out.
saying in the fucking last.
He's
in the
He's gonna
last
knock
stream.
him out. He's gonna knock him out.
Kamzat.
Khamzat Chimaev. We
Have
also
you
have
seen Li Jingliang's
Alexander Volkov
fucking
versus
stand-up?
Marcin Tybura.
Jing Yang's gonna.
Ooh,
Get knocked
Tavares on
out.
a 3.
Gotta
I don't
watch
need
this
to.
footage.
3
Gotta
fights.
watch this
No.
footage.
Actually, he's up
I
there.
just
He's
know,
like 5.
yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a
Yeah.
really good card. It's top heavy though. The rest of the fights, kind of no namers. So it's like 6 or 7 good fights, and then kind
But
of
these
no.
are 2 big cards. Like, if we're going to talk
right. And not only is it 2 big cards, but the week after UFC 267,
2 big titles. I'm sorry.
the week after UFC 267 is UFC 268.
Which is crazy.
It's a week apart.
Yeah.
268 is Usman, Covington, Gaethje, Chandler,
Yeah.
Namajunas, Zhang.
the most stacked card in so long.
Also, Luke Rockhold, Sean Strickland,
Yeah, that fucking return.
Jermaine Durandamy, Irene Aldana, Edmund Shabazian's fighting, and Frankie Edgar's fighting Marlon Vera.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's back-to-back weeks, boys. That is like 15 fights in 2
Are we
weeks.
looking
That's
at the
nice.
same people? I'm pretty sure we are for 268.
268, Usman, Colby, Usman,
Usman. Yes, correct. Okay.
Namajunas, Zhang.
Namajunas.
I got Namajunas.
I mean, I got Namajunas maybe by decision, out there.
I got
first
Zhang.
round knocked
It's
out
I got
again.
Zhang.
You do?
You?
Any particular
Okay.
reason?
Zhang's the better fighter. She got caught last time.
No.
I
I
think-
truly
don't know.
believe that. I'm sorry.
No,
I do.
I think Roses.
Nope.
I think Roses.
You think about roses?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I like them. Also Daisies.
Gaethje or Chandler?
Ooh, Chandler.
Gaethje.
Okay,
Who's younger?
Gaethje.
Even by 2 years, like right. Chandler's 37.
Yeah, he's going on
Gaethje's
37.
35. I would go with Gaethje, just because he's younger.
Gaethje's young. I
Gaethje's
think.
32, Chandler's 35.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I'm gonna go with Gaethje.
Chandler has a
Chandler.
2-inch reach advantage, even though he's 2 inches shorter.
He's the most dense motherfucking lightweight they got.
He is going up the single most.
Sean Strickland versus Luke
Heavy
Rockhold. I'm picking Sean
fucking
Strickland.
I got Luke
Puncher.
Rockhold. Really?
Yeah. I got Sean Strickland.
Really?
Okay, that's an interesting
Rock-
pick.
No, I got Strickland. I think he's gone through a couple.
I got nothing.
Medical instances. He's hurt himself
No,
a
I
couple
don't got
times, and I think he's had one actual fuck up, maybe.
Strickland?
Yeah, has he's tested positive for something? Maybe once.
I do know that he was off for 2 years. It might have been a pop.
I
Was
think
it boner pills that we're talking about?
I don't think it was boner pills.
No.
I think that's for a different fuck up, which we already talked about that fuck up, by the way. John Jones.
But yeah, Strickland. I think. Well, yeah, Strickland. I think should be farther ahead than he actually is.
I see. I kind of agree with you, but
Let's
at the
look
same
up his
time,
win record though.
Sean Strickland,
Yeah,
dude, he's on a
he's
tear.
got good wins. but
Sean Strickland doesn't finish people though.
that's bad.
That's
for,
the thing.
That's Luke Rockhold has a chin for a guy that you can finish.
He
I like
he
that.
does and he doesn't. In his last fight, oh, you know what? It was fucking. He got knocked out in his last fight, but it was in light heavyweight and it was against a Savage. I can't remember who it was. So
Oh, he is on
Sean
win streak.
Strickland knocked out Brendan Allen, which is impressive,
I can't.
And Brendan Allen didn't look on his game. I remember that fight.
and he
That's
knocked
awesome.
out Nordine Taleb. But besides that, it's decision over Hall, decision over
This
Jocko,
dude is-
decision over Marshman, decision over McGee, decision over Breeze. Like all of his fights, except for that one against Allen, it goes to a decision, which I think hurts his top 10 status. I think he's 11 right now.
Who's Allen? I'm sorry.
Brandon Allen's kind of he's good. He's picking it back up. But that fight,
He's
I remember like take a shot in, do something. He was very passive.
And this is middleweight.
Wouldn't commit.
This is
man.
middleweight.
No, he wouldn't.
Wouldn't commit.
And
Very
Sean
bad.
Strickland is 7th in the middleweight rankings.
He's moving up quick.
I think
He's got 3 fights in a row, all by decision.
Yeah.
Sean the man.
Oh no! What did he
Strickland.
win? One by
He
TKO.
has like 5 fights in a row, and one of them is by TKO. Yeah. 2 of them are by TKO. One TKO gets a no-namer, though.
I think
Late
that
in the round.
Hooker Makachev fight is bullshit. I think that it just got set up, but Makachev should be fighting someone higher, and
Hooker's 6.
I mean,
Hooker's 6.
because he's up there. That's why he's 6.
I mean,
But who
Hooker-
has Makachev?
you got to
beaten,
see.
really?
All right, so Hooker was ranked high in the division, got dropped fast. Everyone was like, "What? We got dropped a lot." And then Makachev, ranked 11th, got bumped up in the division by a lot. And
Hooker
everyone's
never-
like, "What?"
Hooker never dropped too much, but yeah.
And now
there was
Hooker's
where's
making his way
RDJ?
back up.
RDA.
RDA's 8th in the welterweight, I want to say.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. He
RDA.
might be like 4.
RDA.
Oh, lightweight, I'm sorry. Raphael's
No,
8th
actually.
in lightweight.
8. Yeah.
Fucking what? 8? Come on, dude.
RDA needs to
has
fight
last-
Conor
Dude, I
McGregor.
say this every single time. When is he last fought?
Rafael Dos Anjos?
2019?
Dude,
I
yeah,
know,
2019.
No, I want to say he
Look at-
fought last year.
Yeah, he did. He fought Paul Felder.
Yes.
Paul Felder. Oh,
Right.
come on.
Right.
Paul
Right.
Felder was
That's what I-
retired, man.
Somebody bailed on him though. That's why. Paul
So his
Felder
last
stepped
3 fights. But look at the people he's fucking fought,
But
man.
in. He's
when?
lost quite a lot.
When?
Listen, I'm going to tell you. Ready? 18, he lost to Colby and Usman. In 19, he beat Kevin Lee and lost to Leon Edwards. In 2020, he lost to Michael Chiesa, who is number 7, and then he beat Paul Felder, which is definitely the one name out of that.
But when? 2019? Tell me
Yeah, so he can't beat
Come
anyone
on.
good.
Who?
It's just like he shouldn't be up there.
He can't beat anybody
Like,
good.
Well,
you're
let's
gonna
look
let
at-
Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler
Let's look at the names under him.
fight.
Let's look at the names under him. Are you going to put RDA below Connor?
Could he guard? Ask me.
Are you going to put RDA
Can he beat champion? Say he beats next 2-3 people in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me he's in the actual...
If RDA were to
contention.
beat Tony Ferguson and Dan Hooker, yeah, he's top 5.
Okay,
They can't beat
Dan
Hooker. No.
Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson, like, what are their records right now?
21-10 and 23-6.
Like, I would understand if he beat Khabib, but he lost to Khabib. I'm pretty sure he's lost to Poirier as well. He's lost to...
Look at the names.
You're nailing
it. If he beat Gaethje,
No, look at the names
You're nailing
under
it.
him.
there are
Nailing it.
people already ahead of him that have beaten him, and he also...
So your
Has
question is-
RDA Beneil
your-
DeRouche is interesting.
My statement is he's not fought in a while, and there are already people solidifying themselves ahead of him, and he should not be 8th. Just
What do you
drop
think
the
he should be?
fucking- Just drop
What do you think
the
he
fuck-
should be?
Off,
What he should
off
be?
the rankings.
Retire. Nick
No, he's
Diaz
not retired.
came back, and I guarantee you, Nick Diaz made more money than Rafael in his last fight.
All right.
Guaranteed.
Here's my
Guaranteed.
argument for it. You make some very valid points. I won't say you don't. But the people
That was
under
awesome.
RDA are under him for a reason. RDA deserves to be 8 because, in my opinion, Connor's worse than RDA. His record is. Connor's record is worse than RDA. Connor's 1-5 in his last 6 fights.
Who
I don't
fights?
mind that.
Who
I don't-
wins if they
I
fight?
don't
though?
mind that at all.
Gregor Gillespie, does he deserve to be above RDA? Do you know who Gregor Gillespie is?
Coming up.
He's coming up, but he's number 10 and he's in there. Diego Ferreira is one name that you could argue. Diego Ferreira is on the fucking come up. But he doesn't deserve to be top 8. Brad Riddell, Armin
RDA's
Sirakian,
not
Rafael Fiziev, Thiago Moises. None of these guys are better than RDA.
Is
Because he
Arnold
hasn't-
Allen on that? Or is he
Arnold
on-
Allen's welterweight.
I'm sorry.
I believe he's welterweight.
No, I
I'm
actually-
saying
I
where's
actually don't think that.
RDA's
No.
last 2
Arnold.
opponents that he beat? Where are they on the list?
RDA's last 2 opponents are Kevin Lee and Paul Felder. Paul Felder.
Come on.
Look at the guys
No,
he's
no, no.
lost to.
Exactly, he can't beat anybody good. Michael
Dude,
Chiesa,
he's
who's not
very
even.
good.
What
You
weight
look
did
at-
he? What weight did he
He
fight
used
at?
to be
Look at how many
welterweight,
fucking
yeah.
punches were thrown.
Okay.
6
Well,
takedowns.
he is a
He got
wrestler,
taken
though.
down 6 times.
Right.
But it's
14
Mike,
punches.
He's
9,
fighting Michael Chiesa.
yeah.
and lost.
So
All
if
right.
you
Yeah.
only lose to top guys, you should not be in the top 15.
I mean,
Yes.
you got to prove yourself at some
Yes.
point.
Are
Look
you
at
serious?
who
Are you
we
We
beat.
talk about all the time.
What does that mean? What do you even mean?
Paul Felder.
Paul Felder was still ranked 7 when they fought, I believe.
I don't
But
think
he was on
7,
the.
but he
Oh,
was
come on.
ranked.
Yeah, he was.
He
ranked.
was on the slope.
No, he
That's why he
absolutely was.
retired, and now he commentates.
What's Paul Felder's record?
He absolutely was. So you're gonna put Gregor
Right.
Gillespie and
No,
Diego Ferreira above RDA?
no, but he should fight him.
I agree with you. He should fight him. But
He
for
does
right
not
now,
deserve-
he's above rankings.
he does
he's
not-
the better rank.
That's the thing. Dude,
According
I just don't
to
think he should
Dana
be
White.
ranked.
According to Dana White.
I think
According to me too, for any if that
personally,
matters.
I think you should just retire. I mean, and
He is getting
I know
old.
that's
He's
hard
definitely
for-
getting old.
I don't see a title prospect, but he's a good gatekeeper.
All right, so can we talk?
You
If
know-
we're gonna talk about this, can we talk about Tony Ferguson being at 6?
one of those guys
Mm.
that the
They should
UFC
fight.
can call upon and say,
7. Tony
will you
Ferguson.
fight this up and comer in your division?
But that's not how the UFC works.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's independent
Here's
contracting.
Was Nick Diaz fucking under UFC contract?
You're talking about a guy that's
Or
ranked
was he-
8, and you're talking about a guy who's 5 years
A guy
out of the
who's
UFC.
ranked
It's
8.
2 different conversations.
Dude, a guy who's been ranked
And who tested
for
positive for steroids
the better
and
half
was
of
off
5
suspension.
years.
It was weed.
It's like
Oh, it was weird.
Yeah.
5 years.
He's a
5 years,
big name.
because It was illegal.
That's
at the
one of the
time.
reasons
They
he's
he's
fucked
a
up.
there.
big name,
But he's also one of the best lightweights in the world.
Wow.
who should
Yeah.
take
That's why
his
everybody's
fucking
like still
retirement
ride or die with Nick Diaz,
and-
you know.
come back to the UFC when they decide, when the UFC
It's a
decides.
debate.
But if he's like a
Now, it's
30,
getting heated.
if you're like
kill each other.
if you're like a 35-year-old and you still got a lot in the tank, are you going to retire just because you're saying, "Oh, there are guys below me that should get a chance, and I'm going to retire to let them go"? Or are you going to try to get good fights?
So
RDA was just going
True.
to fight Makachev.
RDA thinks he's got a title fight left in him.
Right.
All right.
Only reason why
Yeah,
Paul
definitely.
Felder retired is because he had
Definitely.
extra cash for commentating.
Definitely. In the last few fights,
Someone
of
just
his
called him-
have
And he was on
showed
the
What was
that
slope.
it, Vittori?
Down, down, down,
He's
down.
just
down.
trying to get the fights. He's just trying to get good fights. His
I
last
agree
few,
with you. But you got to beat him to go above him in the rankings. And
He has to fight and not drop out of fights
in
too.
this fight,
Injury.
Hooker,
But
it's too far
I think it's a
ahead.
convenient
It's-
injury
Actually,
because Makachev, I think, would
it's
destroy him.
not the fight. I'm sorry, Hooker versus Makachev.
Yeah.
Return.
Makachev, if RDA got
where's
taken down
Dos
9
Santos?
times
Dos
versus Michael
Santos is
Chiesa,
And he's
Hooker is
fighting
he got
six.
taken
he's
down
fighting
9 times.
RDA
versus
was
6
going to
times.
fight
I'm sorry,
Makachev.
6.
Yeah, his hands aren't
Makachev
progressive.
would fuck him up, dude. Makachev would destroy him.
Yeah, actually, no. Why did he step out? Why did he step out?
RDA, I
Because
can't remember the
he
exact
knew he wasn't
reason.
gonna win.
There was an injury.
Right?
Makachev called him out for saying that he probably wasn't injured.
Yeah.
But Makachev had, RDA had some kind of injury that he had to bow out of, which, probably.
No,
They don't even know.
Kind
they
of
don't
like
even-
Aljo.
You
Aljo.
No.
Aljo with the neck
That's-
injury.
A veteran steps out of the ring like RDA, who is ready to fight, I'm sure, and is looking for the payday. Everything is going for him to fight, which I agree on. But he steps out. He probably stepped out because he actually had an injury.
Yeah, it probably is.
No, I agree with you.
And I agree with you saying, he has every right to take the best fight that he can get. But this is kind of high up. Makachev, I don't know about that.
I mean, I thought it was a good matchup for Makachev for the fact that he got pushed to top 5, in my opinion, way too quick, even though he might deserve it.
He's only.
But he has to
beaten-
prove himself against some guys that are top 10 before he goes against guys top 5.
You're saying
he's
Makachev
only-
got to top
Yes,
10
yes.
way too quick.
He got 8 straight wins, but he's
Yeah.
only beaten 2 dudes on this list.
All right, so here's my thing. If we're gonna say
How
that
many dudes has RDA beaten on that list?
Well, let's look. Because
How
he
many
fought
dudes
in
is-
welterweight.
Zero.
He fought
He's
in
beaten
welterweight
0
for-
on that list.
All right, you can go on.
He fought in welterweight for quite a while.
All right, here's what I was gonna say. If we're gonna say that RDA hasn't beaten anyone good,
On that list.
if we're gonna say that RDA hasn't beaten
Times
anyone
change,
good,
though.
On that list. On the list.
on what list?
On the rankings. 1 through 15.
Right.
RDA hasn't beaten one guy on there.
Covington.
Yes, he has.
Covington
Who?
has
Yeah,
not.
he beat
Colby Covington
Who?
has not either. Okay?
Yeah,
Kobe
true.
Covington hasn't
Because I
either.
know that.
Want to know
for a fact.
who RDA did beat? Robbie Lawler, Neil Magny,
Colby Covington has
Neil
Devin
Magny.
Lee,
Okay.
Donald Cerrone, Anthony Pettis, Nate
When?
Diaz, Benson
When?
Henderson. These are years ago, but
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like 2018 under.
All right, the point I was trying to make is that Islam Makhachev has not beaten anyone good either.
But he's beaten 2 people ranked in the top 15.
Sarukian
RDA has
and
beaten
Thiago
0
Moises.
people ranked in the top 15.
It's just the way it goes, though. The transfer of power that
Right.
Dana White
Does he
does.
deserve to be
Yeah.
top 15? Absolutely. Does he deserve to be top 10? Yeah, I think he does.
Does he deserve to be above
5?
RDA?
Yes,
he does.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Absolutely. Does he deserve to be 5?
It's only no, not 5.
Oh man, his last fight was against
Paul
last
Felder.
2 fights were against number 15.
No, Paul Felder.
No, we
was
can argue.
like-
We can
No,
argue
I'm
that.
talking Makhachev.
We can argue that
Oh,
he shouldn't
okay,
be
yeah.
ranked 5. I think Dan
What
Hooker
is-
should be ranked above him.
All right.
I would agree with that.
Go to decision. Last 2 were decision.
For who?
Makachev, you
Makhachev, no, last 2 were by submission. He submitted Drew Dober and
submission.
Thiago
Okay,
Moises.
okay.
Drew
Last
Dober isn't
decision
ranked though.
Anymore.
Was
When he
third?
fought him, he was ranked.
is
Oh, they were
third
both
to
2 top
last?
15s.
Last decision was 3rd to last.
Yeah.
He beat
Thiago Moises was actually
Davey
ranked 10
Ramos.
when he fought him.
Unranked.
So he does have a win. Or
Drew
he
Dober
was
was
ranked 9
ranked 10?
or 8.
No,
Thiago Mo-
Thiago Moises. Thiago
Thiago
Moises.
Moses was ranked 8 or not.
I think he was 14. I'm pretty sure he was 14.
No, he was ranked top 10. It was his first top 10 ranked fight, and he won.
Yeah,
And
so
that's
that
why
He
he
was
got bumped
top
up 5.
Well, that makes sense. Then he
And
deserves his rank.
nobody wanted to fight Islam Makhachev for a very long time, and then he
Yeah.
finally had a fight.
I'll bet you a lot of people looked at him, said Dagestan.
Oh yeah,
No.
no, the hype
No,
train
thank
is
you.
certainly one of the reasons he got up there. And is he good enough to be top 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
No, I definitely think so.
19,
Did he deserve a
20,
top
and
5
1.
ranking? I think it was too early.
Yeah, but he's ranked top 5, but he's not getting a top
What
5
is too-
opponent.
Right.
What
He's
is
still
too
getting a top
early?
10.
What is too early?
Well, because you need to beat people in the top 15
His-
consecutively.
Best win was
A
against
couple
a
wins.
number 14 ranked
He has
guy.
two.
Yeah, but they're the top 15 guy. They're not.
I know they are top 5.
Let's be
So
honest.
he beat
Thiago Moises.
14,
Who does he beat in
And
the top
then he
5?
beat 14
I
again.
know, but he was ranked.
That's
It's
what I'm
like
saying.
it's like
So he
it's like
beat
saying
14, moved
RDA
up to
ranked 8.
15.
Yeah, but
and
it's
Thiago
bracketing,
Moses
something like
ranked
that.
15. Like he
14,
was ranked
And then he
higher,
went to 5.
but then he lost, so he's now ranked lower. Like if
That's
RDA
okay.
fought somebody and lost, he
you
would have
know,
been
Bra-
ranked
it's
lower.
bracketing,
saying
though. He
how
he did
deserves
move up
it. It's just
with quick.
Oh,
those wins.
It is
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Two
That sounds
wins.
quick.
Yeah, so He doesn't deserve the number 1 contender.
Now,
spot or
when
anything
he
like that.
goes
that's why
out
he's
there,
fighting a guy
and when he
ranked,
goes out there and
like,
fucks up
10th.
Dan Hooker,
then he fights and he wins and he gets
then
pushed
we're
up.
gonna be
All right, let's
Well,
talk
he's
about
gonna
somebody.
get pushed
Let's
up
talk
a
about
lot.
somebody we haven't talked about.
It's
and
because
that's
you get big
Chandler.
stars right up there.
You know, he already
Where
did get
is
pushed
Chandler?
up. You don't
Michael
get pushed up a lot for
Chandler.
being
Where is
another
he?
a
Where
guy
is
ranked
he?
10 and you're ranked 5.
Where is he?
Like, who does he
In the
fight
concern
after
of
this? Benil
setting up
Dariush?
fights.
Yeah, that's a great
That would be
matchup.
a great matchup.
He just beat Dan
And I
Hooker.
think Darush needs somebody.
He
But
lost
just
to
lost
Charles
He's going to take
Oliveira.
this fight on short notice now.
The
Only guy's going to do that is
title
Dan Hooker,
champion.
who's trying to build the
Of
shit
course,
back up.
Charles hasn't fought.
I think
But
Dariush is kind
obviously, Hooker's fought
of a boring fight.
almost twice now.
I do
He's
too.
going to be fighting
I
twice
don't
now.
like watching
Right.
him, but I think he's a good matchup.
First on Makachev.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
'cause they
did he
both
fight
have the
to
same
come into the UFC?
Wrestle
Like,
heavy,
somebody else?
like yeah.
in his last couple fights, you're saying?
He beat did he beat somebody before Hooker, or did he beat Hooker?
Chandler, you're saying? Hooker was
Chandler.
his first fight in the UFC.
But he was also a Bellator champion who beat Eddie Alvarez. So
He wasn't the Bellator champ when he made
He
the move,
also
though. He
lost.
had lost in Bellator. Or I think he went to Strikeforce for a fight, and then he came to UFC.
it's a fucked up schedule. But they
Dan
took him
Hooker,
because
Michael
he had a
Chandler
big
is
following
a fight.
and
and promise.
I used to hate him actually, but I don't mind him now, and I really just simply want to see him fight. And
My
I think
biggest
I brought up a
problem.
good point just now.
My biggest problem.
Hooker is going on his second fight
In a
since
month.
theirs. And Hooker,
Would it be a
we
month?
we haven't seen
2
Chandler
fights?
at all.
Because he's fighting.
Well, he
Gaethje.
just fought 4 days ago, and now he's going to be fighting in a month. So it's a month and 3 days that he'll have 2 fights. Here's my thing: Dan Hooker is going from fucking Nasrat Haqparast to Islam Makhachev.
And
There's a fucking difference.
His, the guy
Haqparast
was
is good.
he's good.
Yeah.
Unproven.
Not,
That's an unproven fighter.
not as good as Islam at all.
We've been talking about unproven guy. That is an unproven fighter, and he got
When
his
is-
chance
when
against
is
Dan
Gaethje
Hooker
Chandler?
and lost.
That's a good
268.
question. Oh, so
So that's
A week
actually-
after
that's actually-
267.
yeah, okay.
months
So
away.
like that's all right. I was thinking.
Here's my
months
thing.
away.
Here's my thing. All right, I don't.
Let's all agree on something.
Can we agree on this? I think we can all agree on
Call
this.
this Congress because we're at a stalemate.
I think we can all agree on this. Benil Dariush should not be number 3.
Yeah, well,
Well,
Benil, no.
Were you guys
all right.
talking about that?
Benil
What do you mean?
Dariush is a
Tony
boring.
Ferguson.
let's,
Yeah,
let's talk
probably
about
shouldn't be number
Benil.
3.
When's the
Benil
last
Dariush
time
is number 3.
Fucking Benil is.
What did we?
Well, he just fought. He fought in Boston.
We had
When we went
Dariush
to
at
Boston.
6.
When we went to Boston, how many months ago?
Did he
May.
fight? May.
Yeah.
Come on.
May
End of
15th.
May.
Dude,
Oh,
it's
middle of
almost
May.
October.
So he hasn't fought in 5 months, and he beat Tony Ferguson,
So
and he's number 3 still.
He's
Talking about a
also
guy.
on
Talking about a guy that
hold
got
on,
ranked, that got
streak.
pushed up
on a
is
win
Benil
streak.
Dariush.
On a win
He is on a win streak. He's on a decent win
He
streak.
is.
He
He
has
has
like a
6
4th
fights.
fight.
It's
6
7 fights.
Yep.
And it's Thiago Moises, Drew Dober, Islam has that. Frank Camacho, Drakkar Close, Diego
Drakkar
Ferreira.
Close, Diego Ferreira. That's
Yeah.
right.
So that pushes him up there. I don't know if he should be so high.
And he
though.
beat Tony Ferguson. Here's the problem: Tony Ferguson shouldn't be as high as he is. So if you dropped him down, and then Benil Dariush beat him, then Dariush would be like probably where he should be at like 8. Tony Ferguson should be like 10. I think Tony Ferguson should be
fighting for a spot in the top 15 right now. Yeah.
no, he should be top 15. But I think he's like barely below Conor McGregor. I think he's probably
Tony
below
Ferguson
Conor.
versus RDA.
Tony Ferguson versus Conor.
Tony
That's the
Ferguson,
fight.
That is
Tony
that is a hype
versus
fight.
Conor
That is a hype fight.
is
Mark.
something special.
Do you think he should be fighting in the top 15? Tony Ferguson.
Tony, yeah, top
When
15,
I say
top
that,
10, no.
5 to 10. 15 to 10.
I think he's like a
Ranked,
good
you're
number
saying, or-
11
Ranked 15 to 10.
because he did have that 12 fight win streak before he gets shut the fuck down.
And
Like,
then
he
And
just-
without
And
a
his
title,
three
without
lo-
a title,
And his 3 losses
He only
are
got the intro.
really. His 3 losses are
And
currently ranked respectively number 1, number 3, and number 4. That's really good fucking losses.
yeah.
Benil? No, I don't like Benil.
yeah, but all right,
But
Benil Dariush is
yes.
ranked 3 now, but when he fought him,
He was ranked 6.
6 or 7, I think. I mean,
Tony.
Dude.
the Tony,
Because Tony.
the matchup size.
All right, so
Was
now
not
that you
good.
guys are here, I'm glad that we're having this discussion. Can we talk about
Well, who's
our
the-
personal lightweight rankings real quick? Because Mark and
Who
Dylan,
got
you guys
here?
weren't here for that.
What
We
time
can
did you
do it
get here?
again.
Well, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so number 1 We had Dustin Poirier over Charles Oliveira. We did not base this title winner is automatically number one because we had bantamweight and we had Jan over Sterling.
Because we both think Poirier beats Oliveira.
I don't know.
It's not only that I think Poirier beats Oliveira. I think Poirier's body of work has been more impressive than Oliveira. Even though Oliveira has a 9-fight win streak, Poirier's beaten better people.
Yeah, the record is definitely.
Poirier's beaten Conor twice. Poirier's beaten Holloway twice. Poirier was the closest to beating Khabib.
And look who Oliveira beat for the title.
Right. But Oliveira could submit him.
He could. No, I think he keeps him on the ground, actually.
Who is he training for? Who's he training for?
Khabib.
Wait, say again?
Yeah.
If he beats Oliveira, like who's his next challenger?
No. I'm saying right now. Who's Oliveira training for?
Poirier.
Oh, it's
Poirier.
It's Poirier.
Yeah, Poirier.
You got to think he's had a lot of time to train for Poirier, and I don't think that Poirier has thought about Oliveira too much.
No.
Maybe now, but we got to think about Conor in Poirier's perspective, his training. So he's been training for Conor for a while. He might even be training now for the 4th.
Yeah, for the money fight.
And then Dana is just like, listen, you're going up against Oliveira.
It's a good point, but at the same time,
I'm thinking he could submit
Poirier
him.
is
He totally could.
Poirier is very good on the ground on his own.
No,
Not
even close.
Not as good as Oliveira.
But I'm not saying
Not
he's
even
as
close.
good as Oliveira. I'm saying he's good on the ground.
Yeah.
He has really good wrestling.
Well, I know who's
And
better.
he has good jiu-jitsu.
I'm going to say not even
Rest in
close.
peace.
to
Khabib
Oliveira.
Retired at 31.
Yeah.
You're going to say not
Like,
even close?
Ground
Yeah.
game,
You think it's that much
Oliveira,
of a separation?
Khabib, like
That's close
What
equals.
is-
It
what is-
depends who
here's-
shoots
here's
first.
my-
submission.
Can I tell you my
Submission, I think, is Oliveira.
Would you say Poirier is as good on the ground as Chandler?
No.
Because
No.
you don't think he is?
I think he is.
No,
I think
I
Poirier-
think
I
he
think-
is. No, actually, the wrestling.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not close as Oliveira because Poirier's
But-
strategy would be jiu-jitsu, and
Strategy would be better.
that
Wait. You
would
think
not work
Poirier's
out.
going to try to go on the ground with Oliveira?
no, that's not no.
Not with Chandler.
He's obviously going to box with Chandler as much as
Right.
he can, but if he goes down, his strategy
Well,
is jiu-jitsu.
He submitted
and
people with
it's-
guillotines.
Well, here's my thing.
No,
Almost submitted Khabib.
Oliveira's submitted with
Almost submitted
guillotines how many
Did.
times? With triangles.
Here's
how many
my
times?
thing.
With everything.
Charles Oliveira is better on the ground.
Oliveira,
That's my stand.
Oliveira
Like,
went
at
to the
jiu-jitsu.
ground with Chandler.
Better on the ground. but not
Oliveira
at-
put Chandler in a rear naked choke that was deep, and Chandler got out.
But
And Chandler got up and went to boxing.
Chandler is a
and if
freak,
that
though.
happens, Poirier's gonna have a good chance. And if Chandler can do it, Poirier can do it. I'm not saying that he's gonna get out of
No,
a submission, but he totally has the
I
possibility.
think it's
He
the
has
body type
capability of
difference.
doing
That's a
it.
rare body type of that weight
think
class.
I think-
190 pounds almost. 5'8".
Poirier,
What the fuck?
Poirier
Chandler?
can definitely outbox
His
Oliveira.
strength,
Yeah,
his
absolutely.
wrestling is so different. The reason he got out of that neck hold is because he's so dense and he's so strong in that little form of his.
All I'm saying
And he
is
trains
if
it. He
Poirier can
specifically
wrestle.
And he
trains that.
trains obviously out of that. But if Dustin Poirier goes down to the ground, let's just say Dustin Poirier goes down to the ground with Oliveira. Dustin Poirier's strategy on the ground is not going to be wrestling.
It's
going
get
to
back
be
up.
jiu-jitsu.
I think it's get back up.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
let's
get
get
the
back
fuck,
up at
get
the
this
same
guy the
time.
fuck off of me.
But he's going to be battling Oliveira's jiu-jitsu. And
Yeah.
I really feel like
He's
Oliveira's
gonna have to show
jiu-jitsu is
jiu-jitsu
just-
defense for sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But if Chandler can get up, Poirier can get up.
Chandler got up in
No,
a strange
strength.
way, though.
strength-wise.
He literally exploded. That was a wrestler's just pure explosion scramble. Like, he turned into him from the back, which easier with, depending on the position that he gets in. You know, it's possible that he gets up. But I think that way that Oliveira has that sluggish, wrestling, crushing fucking dominance because he's got wrestling credentials
Third
of his
degree
own.
black belt.
Yeah, he's a third-degree black belt. He's got wrestling credentials of his own, like Brazilian national wrestler. That's how he was able to dominate fucking Tony Ferguson.
So you guys
Yeah.
think Oliveira is above Poirier?
I think he
In
could
the
beat him.
rankings?
I think he could beat
Is
him.
that what
I
we're
think
saying?
he could beat him. I think
I
Poirier
think
is
it's
above
one
him,
of
though.
those that you just don't put on the pod, man.
No,
I'm not
it's
saying the
rankings.
pod bet. We're talking about rankings for the lightweight
rankings.
division.
Oh, for
Poirier or Oliveira.
Yeah, I'm putting Oliveira.
Okay. After
That's
them-
3 against 1.
After them, we got KG.
You know, one thing that I really enjoyed when we were in Boston is seeing Charles Oliveira cry and just run out of the ring.
Were you guys in Boston?
Like, yeah, all of
This is the pay per view that we were in Boston for. Chandler.
Oh
Oliveira.
yeah. We were in Boston.
Yeah.
dude.
We went to a Red Sox game. Remember that?
Red Sox. You guys came back and I was all fucked up in the fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
that
me,
was
that
on the
burrito.
covers, like I'm fucking shaking.
You ate that burrito again too.
I did.
Dylan got food poisoning twice from the same burrito.
That is very true. Because I was
Fucked
so
up at
hungry. Dude.
noontime.
At the end of it, I was like, dude,
I was fucked
Charles Oliveira like deserved it. He wanted it, got it. Think about his knockout on Chandler.
Yeah.
You gotta think he didn't finish it by submission. Motherfucker did not.
No, he absolutely blasted Chandler.
His hands
Yeah.
are there.
His hands, yeah.
That was more of a Chandler fuck up in my opinion. Either way, he fucked him up. I'm not taking any credit away from it. But Chandler was also like
Rushed in.
rushed the fuck in.
You know, but like,
Damn, is that already the time? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's getting like quick.
sorry.
All right, we got Makachev next.
What's up?
If you want to finish it, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we have Gaethje at 3, right?
You guys have Makachev at 4.
I think I definitely wanted to put Chandler, but he convinced me to put Makachev.
I'd keep Makachev right where he is at number 5. He
And then we
could
have
beat
Darush
people,
at
but
6.
credential-wise,
Darush at
Makachev
6
beats
makes
Chandler,
sense.
bro.
I don't know.
Makachev
man.
beats
I'd like to
Chandler.
see all these fights.
Makachev takes Chandler to the
Right?
ground,
Wouldn't you
and
love
Chandler
to see
can't
all
get
these
up.
fights?
Nah, Chandler.
I wish we
wrestling's
could
really
book.
good.
I wish we could.
I'd
book
like
the
to see
fights.
it.
We should
You
We should
look
get.
at
Yo,
Tony,
Dana, give us a call. $200,000.
We need to get UFC 4.
A year.
Make these
Tony,
fights.
RDA, McGregor, Dariush. Not a single one of those people have fought each other.
Yeah.
Well, actually, McGregor, RDA, maybe
Dariush fought
McGregor fought RDA
Ferguson.
back in the day.
that. All right, yeah, okay.
Darush did fight Tony.
But the top
He beat
6
him
haven't
so
fought.
badly.
The top 6 haven't fought each other. That's crazy.
Yeah, that gives you itchy nuts.
Well, Oliveira beat Chandler. That's the only fight.
Oh
in the
yeah,
top
that's
6.
true. Yeah.
Poirier Gaethje fought. Poirier beat Gaethje.
So weird, bro. In the lightweight division, so many fucking contenders.
So many contenders.
Like we still put RDA 8.
So next week. So
I hate
next
lightweight.
week at the end of fight night, that's coming up this weekend. We can do 2 things. One, we can talk about UFC 267, but we're gonna have another 2 weeks to do that after. So next week, if you guys want to come through, middleweight and welterweight rankings we're making because we have bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight. Don't
Bobby
mind
Knuckles,
those. Those are just
number 2.
mine. Those aren't our actual
Usman?
rankings. But we're doing middleweight and welterweight
There you go.
rankings next week.
I don't know mid welterweight and low welterweight, but
Well, that's the one I put for reference. Just saying.
yeah, okay, all right. Oh my god, yeah.
Those are my rankings. That's not the rankings.
Who's
right now.
Edwards?
Leon.
What?
Leon Edwards?
That's yours?
That's mine.
Where's?
I have Leon Edwards at 8 in the welterweight rankings.
He hasn't fought in
Wow.
2 years. That's why.
He beat Nate
No,
Diaz.
come on.
His only win is against
Dude,
Nate
he's better
Diaz.
than
in the last
Wonder
year.
Any
Boy.
fucking
No,
dude.
he ain't.
Come
Better
on,
than
he-
Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy could take him.
Really?
Wonder Boy is getting old.
Chiesa, you think could take him?
Yeah, I think so.
Chiesa is one of the best wrestlers besides Colby and Usman in that division.
He just lost to fucking Luque by freak fucking.
I
Right.
like him.
whatever.
That Luque-
Lars.
Yeah, it was. He had
Luque
Luque
signature
in a
move.
submission for like 3 minutes, and then Luque got a Darce in 10 seconds and tapped him out.
All right.
Caught him
I know.
sleeping.
All right. How much time do we have?
You got Burns at
We
number
got no
2.
time limit.
Wait, you got Burns at number
I
2.
got Burns at number
Burns
2.
above-
Why?
I got Burns above
Why?
Colby.
Colby's,
Can I tell you why?
you think-
Colby's
Can I tell you
literally
why?
fighting
Yeah.
him.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Burns.
Colby's only win in the last 2 years, Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Burns not only beat Tyron Woodley, but beat.
All right.
I wanna
let me-
say
let me
Luke
tell you
Wonderboy,
something.
Right?
And not only that, but
Burns
Burns was
lost to Daniel Hooker.
4 years ago
Yes. Still,
at a different weight.
I don't give a fuck.
Burns was the closest person to beating Usman.
No.
Colby.
Nope. No,
By
I don't even like
decision.
Colby. I don't even like Colby.
I think
but
it was
he went
Colby
to
by decision. I mean, he rocked him.
Yeah.
If you count that as it, I get
Right.
it.
Burns rocked Usman.
Usman came back in less than a minute.
No, he came back in 2 rounds.
It
He
was
came
so
back in the
amazing.
next round.
It was so amazing.
I mean, you can say what you want. Colby and Burns are fucking neck and neck, but I put Burns above him slightly because he has a better body of work than Colby. Colby hasn't beaten anybody that's currently ranked in the welterweight rankings.
I want to see Colby win just so we can have a troll.
I would love to see Colby
Just a
win.
troll welterweight champ.
If Colby beats Usman, I'm gonna flip shit.
You have Luke
The
above
goofiest shit.
Wonderboy.
Yes.
Wonderboy beat the living trash off Luke.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wonderboy's lost his last two. Luke's won his last two. That's why I did it. And Luke just
You
beat
should look that
Chiesa.
up. And he beat the living cunt off Luke.
Back in the day, though, Luke is a new fighter. He's only like 27.
Still, what is Wonderboy's last few?
Wonderboy beat
Wonderboy
Jeff
hasn't
Neal.
fought- I'm sorry. I know
Joff.
Wonderboy beat Jeff Neal.
Joff.
Yeah, because we all know what we're talking
Vicente
about.
I know.
Hey, Dylan. Vicente Luque.
I like Luke a
No,
lot.
well, just listen to this. Just listen to this. Nico Price, Tyron Woodley, Mike Chiesa, and some guy named Randy Barron.
Yeah.
I don't know where Randy
But
but it was by knockout. Knee to the face.
lost to Wonderboy.
By decision. And Wonderboy is a point striker.
Oh, yeah, 100%, dude. Best
2 years ago.
Point
And then look at
striker.
this. He beat Mike Perry. He's got another 6-fight win streak before that loss.
But if you look at
He beat Nico Price twice. That
if
poor
you
dude.
look at Luke versus Wonderboy, and I know he's a point striker, but
He beat Bilal Muhammad.
their face, it's just like, dude
Well,
got fucked up.
I'm a huge fan of Wonderboy. But the only reason is Wonderboy, this is a updated
Yeah.
record, rankings. And
Yeah,
Wonderboy,
not even up. Well, he's 6.
he just lost to Burns and he lost to, who
So
else?
right now, Wonderboy is 5, Luke's 4. Thompson's last fought, he lost to Burns. Before that, he beat Jeff Neal. If you look at my welterweight, no, I guess I did change it a little bit. What about middleweight though? Can we just talk about that and then we can finish up?
Robert Whitaker's taking that belt back.
No, yeah.
So
Well,
here's my thing. Here's
I
my
don't know
thing.
about
You guys
that.
were
I think
pissed.
so.
You guys were
He's
pissed at my welterweight rankings. I think you're gonna get pissed off at this. I have Paulo Costa at 6.
6.
I have Paulo Costa at 6.
What if he beats Vittori today?
I have
I mean, then they
Costa
come and fight.
underneath Brunson, Cannonier, and Vittori. You guys think about that?
Brunson
Really,
is
that doesn't
way
freak
too
me out
far
too
up
bad,
there.
actually. You have him under Vittori?
I have
Yeah.
Brunson
Vittori just
Vittori
contended.
Brunson Cannonier was the one that I wanted to change, but at the end of the day, Brunson has 2 impressive wins in a row, man.
Yeah, he does.
Brunson
has beaten Cannonier or no?
No.
Has beaten Hermanson?
Brunson beat Darren Till, Kevin Holland, and Edmund Shabazian. He also beat Ian Heinisch and Elias Theodoro in his 5-fight win streak.
Shabazian, you didn't even throw up Shabazian.
I didn't throw Shabazian. I threw Kevin Holland above Shabazian. Shabazian was my number 11.
Yeah.
Shabazian was 12-0 when he was beating no-namers, and then he's lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Shabazian
that.
is fighting.
I like
on
Holland versus
267.
Strickland, dude. I
Yeah,
want
I like
Holland
that a
versus
lot.
Strickland so bad.
Didn't they
It's a
on
good
that?
fight.
I like Strickland. a lot.
I don't think.
I
I,
like
don't think
Strickland.
so. I don't think
I
so.
like Strickland a lot too. I just think he's kind of a boring fighter.
He is a boring
Point
fighter,
fighter.
but I mean,
He's an effective
I
fighter.
feel like he's got he strikes well and he keeps his distance well, but I feel like when he hits him, he gives love taps more than power strikes.
And I mean,
he's
that's
got a weak
effective.
chin if he gets hit.
We'll see with Rockhold because Rockhold has fucking power, man, in those
All
kicks.
right. Strickland versus
I like
Vittori.
Rockhold.
I think so, dude. Rockhold's got the wrestling prowess, man.
We've watched
No,
his
Vittori.
last. Oh, I
Strickland,
have his
Vittori?
last 3 fights.
Paulo
4
Costa's
fights.
fighting Marvin Vittori.
Remember we watched his first fight back? I
October 23rd.
think we
Yeah, I
did.
got Costa.
No,
Do you?
Strickland.
Strickland, yeah, we did.
What do you
Yeah.
guys got for that? Paulo Costa, Marvin Vittori.
Yeah, I got Costa.
I got Marvin Vittori.
I got Marvin Vittori.
I got Costa.
I think Marvin Vittori fucks him up. I think he takes him down. And
Yeah, I
fucks him
think
up.
I think it's the most boring victory. A Marvin Vittori like victory.
It's a 5-round fight. It's the main event of a fight.
Didn't you have Costa in Costa Adesanya?
No, I had Marvin Vittori.
Costa versus Adesanya.
No, I wasn't here for that.
That was only the second month that we started the podcast. That was one of the 2 pay-per-views we have not live streamed for because we started at 251.
Yeah, I think we started like 3 months in or something like that.
Started 251. Usman Masvidal won.
Oh,
that was at my
Khabib was our
house.
first one. Khabib was
No,
our
it
first.
wasn't.
Are you
It
sure?
was our 4th. Or it was
No,
our
that-
3rd pay-per-view.
That
Yeah.
was at my house.
BBHE?
What?
I was there for that one. That shit was wild.
Costa versus Adesanya.
Yeah, you guys watched that at your house. We didn't do that pay-per-view. I was working that night, I'm telling you. 251 was Usman Masvidal 1. 252 was Cormier Miocic 2. We did those both. We didn't do 253, and then 254 was Nurmagomedov Gaethje. We did that one here.
Why don't they make weed candles? Like where you light it and it smokes. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea to get everybody around it fucked up, though.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I agree. They should. I bet they do that. I said do. All right, that might do it for episode 65.
That might do it.
We've been talking about a lot. What else we got? Anything else? You got to get off your chest?
Come up with
Hepatitis
something
C.
if you want, but you go for it.
How about after
Because
this?
I'm
How about after
Go.
this we try to do our own rankings again? We can hash it all out with all four of us.
You can do it right now on the fucking pod.
We've already been almost going. No, we've already almost been going for 2 hours.
It has been that long.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Go check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. Follow us at Twitter at @complete_MMA. Go follow us also on Twitter at FansOnlySports. FansOnlySports.com, the number one reliable network for Rhode Island collegiate and high school broadcasting games.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing a little bit of that. Go check out NakedSports.com for all articles released. We've been doing a couple of those. I've kind of been getting away from it, but I'm going to put a lot out in the next coming weeks. UFC 267 will be live streamed 8 p.m. on October 30th, and then November 6th. That live stream might start later. That might start at 10 o'clock because I have to work that day. But we'll be live streaming for both of those pay-per-views, and they're going to be fucking off the charts. Thiago Santos, Johnny Walker this weekend. And then next weekend, we'll definitely be doing rankings. To continue our trend, we got like 5 more weight classes that we got to do, so that's going to be probably between 2 to 3 weeks. That'll be a good time. And if you want to go check out all of our pod bets and all the shit that we hit on last week,
all that shit,
go check out, again, MMA Complete Podcast, where you can find UFC 266 live stream. That was a good one. We will be back next Thursday at 7, as we do every Thursday. So thank everybody for tuning in. We're out of here. Have a good night.